Dagoth Ur welcomes you, Nerevar. Today we are going to the heart of the Mongrel Dogs of the Empire, known as Cyrodiil, otherwise known as the source of problems on Tamriel. Without further ado, let us begin. All roads lead to Imperial City. This is where the Mongrel Dogs rule from. The districts of the Imperial City remind me of Vivek cantons. The city might look beautiful from the outside. Still, if you look closely, it suffers from a crippling skooma epidemic, thievery, and a serious Mythic Dawn activity in the dungeons that might give the Emperor a severe plot development ouchie. Also, Arcane University doesn't rank very high on the Dagoth Ur University rankings. The Imperial City districts deserve their own list. But what can I say? I wouldn't live here. Bravil is basically what would happen if you replaced ash storms with moon sugar storms instead. The Ghost Gate should be around Bravil. If you think the Imperial City has a skooma problem, let me tell you, Nerevar, skooma flows here as lava flows in Red Mountain. I wouldn't live here unless you were a defective farm tool. Skingrad is a strange city. The Count of Skingrad is an Enwa vampire. Some crazy elf named Glarthir is roaming the street. One of the only few dark elves here is really into the undead. I wouldn't go here if I were you. Cheydinhal, or should I call it Cheydinhal? The Count of this province is a Dunmer, and even if his son is a buffoon, he is still a Dunmer. I hope one day he decides to honor the Sixth House and the tribe unmourned. Also, I do like the architecture of the city. Don't mind the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary, I would live here. Bruma is mini Skyrim, uncivilized, crime-ridden, and cold. Most of the buildings are wooden, and if someone were to cast a fireball spell, they could cause the Great Fire of Bruma. Unironically, most quests here remind me of Nordic crime shows that Caius Cosades likes to binge-watch. I wouldn't live here. Leyawin is way too close to farm tool country for my comfort. It is located right between Black Marsh and Elsewhere Nerevar. Let me repeat that, between Black Marsh and Elsewhere, the worst of both worlds. Forget about living here. Anvil looks nice until you realize it is full of the craziest Enwas in Cyrodiil. What is very scary about them is that they don't need skooma to be this crazy. You have a gang of women robbing everyone, a man who sells you a house possessed by ghosts, and his necromancer grandpa, a Dunmer lady living with her rats, a haunted ship. Seriously, what is going on here? I wouldn't live here. Chorrol is boring in comparison to all these cities. Most of the events take outside of the city itself. That painter guy is a Dunmer, and his quest is pretty interesting. However, you can argue that it also takes place outside of Chorrol. I mean, I would live here just because nothing ever happens here. Kvatch is it is a hot mongrel dog stand. Although the passing of St. Jube saddens me. I'll avoid talking about New Sheoth because every time I do, Sheogorath decides to mess with me. However, it is a lot saner than Anvil, I'll give you that. And that concludes my list of cities of Cyrodiil and Shivering Isles. I will review smaller settlements such as the Lovecraftian village of Hackdirt in the next episode.